Okay. So today we are going to see the another tool called logging library. Okay, which is called SLF4J. Okay. Basically, what is logging first of all? What is logging? And why do we need logging? Anyone is having idea what is logging and why do we need logging? In our tools introduction, this is 1, 2, 3. And this is 4th one, which is logging. What is logging? And why do we need logging? Yeah, logging is used to determine the flow of the program. Logging is used to determine the flow of the program. For example, when we write a program in Java, we give various system.out.println, right? And what's the use of this one? These are called print statements. So we can see determine the flow of the program. Not only that, even we can see various errors in the program. All that we can see. See, for example, when we write a Java program in Java, we give various system.out.print, zero print statements. Similarly, we give some system.error. So error statements, all that. Okay. So this is what we give. Also, in try catch block, we give some. In the catch block, we see. We give some exceptions also. We give some exceptions also, okay? So, and here we also give some ex dot, to log, we log some exceptions also. Like these are all these error statements now. And like exception dot print stack trace. This will provide the stack trace of the stack trace. complete stack trace. Okay. But in production environment, when you deploy this program to your production environment, so these are not recommended actually. Like in production environment, when the code is running in production server, okay, the system.out.println and stack trace, these statements are not recommended actually. So we need to use loggers. We need to use loggers instead of the system.out.println statements. We need to use loggers. Everyone is able to hear me? Is my voice clear, right? Yeah, everyone is able to hear me, right? Okay. I think you have to check from your end actually. Okay. So we need to use loggers when the code is running in production environment. Okay, system.out are not recommended. We need to use loggers. So using loggers, we can log the messages to console file. Okay. Database. I'm just telling. Anywhere. Okay, we can log the message to console file. Just 1 minute. Okay. So we can log the message to console file database. So now to implement these loggers, what is production environment? Production environment means which will be your application will be live to the users. Your application production environment is an environment where your application is live to users. Okay. You will be doing in the development environment. All the coding, everything you will do in the development environment. Once you do the coding, you will move to test environment to test it whether it is working properly or not. Then after that, you will release to production so that it will be accessible by the end users. Now, you see. Using loggers, we can log the message to console file, database, etc. Okay. Now to implement loggers, we have various logging libraries like log4j, logback. Okay, I'll tell you. To implement loggers in Java applications, we have various libraries. I'll tell you what are all these libraries. Okay. So we have simple logger, Next we have Java logger provided by java.util package. Util package. Next we have log4j logger. And then we have log back log. Okay, there are various logging libraries. So any of these libraries we can use in Java. Any of these libraries we can use in Java. But the most popular library is log4j. This is the most popular logging library. Most popular logging library. And the next most popular is this one. So this is also most popular logging library after log4j. Okay. And even these loggers also are used, but not that much used. But these are also used by some applications. Simple logger and all that. Okay. Now suppose, for example, an application is using log4j library. An application is using log4j library and logging messages. Okay, logging messages and errors. Okay. Now tomorrow I want to change this application log4j to logback. Okay. So first, this application is using log4j library. When it's using log4j library, it is using log4j classes. Okay. It is using log4j classes and logging the statements. It is using log4j classes and log statements. Log4j library. Okay. Now tomorrow there is a requirement that your client or your business has to change. Instead of log4j logger, I want to change logback logger. So suppose this log4j logger is used in, say, 20 Java files. In 20 Java files, this log4j library, like in A.java, B.java, C.java. In 20 Java files, this log4j library is used. Now after some time there is a requirement like, I don't want log4j library, I want to implement with logback. Now what I have to do, I have to change all these 20 Java files. Change these files. Change these Java files. Change these Java files to modify the code. To modify the code from log4j to logback. That means we have to change. Instead of log4j classes, we have to use logback. We have to change in all this. I'll show you one program how we can use log4j class and log in some .java file. I'll show you. But now you can think like, In all these files, we have to change these Java files to modify the code from log4j to logback. That means again it is a difficult task. Difficult task means it is again a tedious task where we have to change this and do that. Now instead of that, what we can have is there is one more interface that is called logging interface called SLF4J. Okay. Now see, for example, now my Java code is using directly these libraries. So directly my Java code is using these libraries. Now say for example, the Java code is using this library and we are writing the Java code. Now suppose tomorrow if they are changing to logback library, we have to change this Java code. We have to change this Java code. Like that, if there are 20 Java codes, we have to change from log4j to logback. Now instead of this, we'll have an SLF4J library. SLF4J is a logging interface library. SLF4J, which is a logging interface library. Okay. Now my application or program will be using this SLF4J logging interface library, and this library can connect to logback, log4j, next JDK logging, simple logger. So next is this is JDK, like Java logging provided by java.util package. In java.util package, there is a Java logger. In java.util, there is a Java logger, okay? And log4j. And then logback. Okay, we can have like this. Okay. Now what will happen is SLF4J has methods that can be integrated with any logging library. Now if I use my application or program develop application with SLF4J log. Now what will happen now? Develop application with SLF4J login. So what will happen now? Now if my application or program is using SLF4J logging, now say that this is the interface. We call this as an interface. And these are the underlying implementations. And these are the underlying implementations. Just 1 minute, I'm getting them. Just 1 minute, I'm getting one message. Okay. So this is the underlying implementation. Okay, now my application can use this SLF4J logging library methods and can integrate with any of these logging. Now tomorrow, say for example, I develop an application. Just 1 minute. I develop an application using SLF4J. Okay, SLF4J with log4j. SLF4J log4j. So tomorrow, if I need to change to log back also, SLF4J will support. SLF4J will support. That means, for example, I'll tell you, I have now my program, my Java program. I'm just telling, okay? I'll show you this as a program also. I have a Java program. I'll use SLF4J. I'll use SLF4J method. I'll use SLF4J logging library. And we have a method called info. Okay? SLF4J logging. And for every SLF4J, there should be an underlying implementation. You can think like this is an interface. See, remember, in your class and interface, we have an interface A. Next, for this interface, we have a method, right? Method 1. Now, the underlying implementation for this interface is class B implements A. Class B implements A. And here I'll say method 1. And I will write the code here. So I'll write some code here. So what I do? Interface A, class B implements A. So method 1, I write the code here. Now you see, this is the underlying implementation for this method. Okay. Now similarly, you can think like SLF4J is like an interface. Now for this interface, I can write class B implements A. Okay. You can like class C implements A. Okay. So method 1. Here I write some code. So for this interface, there can be multiple implementation classes. So this is one implementation class, this is another implementation class for this interface. Similarly, for SLF4J, you can think like an interface. You can think like an interface. And for this interface, there can be multiple implementation classes, like your log4j is one implementation class. Just like how class B is implementing A, class C is implementing A, same interface is implemented by 2 different classes. Like that, log4j is your implementation for SLF4J. Log back is, we can say, as implementation for SLF4J, like that. So in that way, you can think like SLF4J is like a logging library. Okay. Okay, understood? SLF4J is a logging library, and tomorrow you can also, suppose you are using now B's implementation of this interface. Tomorrow I want to change to C implementation, I can easily change. Okay, I can easily change. So since SLF4J is an interface, okay, this is how it will work. You can think like this. So SLF4J uses underlying implementations. SLF4J uses implementations for log4j, logback, simple logging. Okay, all the Java log libraries, Java util logging, all this. So that is how we'll have. Okay. So I can think like this. So SLF4J is SLF4J is SLF4J is simple facet for logging system. Facet means interface. You can say facet or interface. It provides common interface for various loggers. It provides interface for common interface for various loggers. There are third-party logging libraries in Java that we can use, like simple logging, next Java util logging, next is log4j logging, log4j, fourth one is logback. Okay. Now our program is developed. Say example, our program, or we developed a project using log4j library. After few months, we need to change the logging library to log4j, logback. Okay. So what we'll do here, suppose if you are using directly like this. So directly like this, if you are using. So directly if you are using a Java code, is tightly bounded like this. Then what we have to do? We need to change in maven.xml. Need to change. Okay. Suppose I'm using log4j library in form.xml. I have to change that to logback. Need to change in form.xml. log4j dependencies. From log4j dependencies to logback dependencies. Log4j dependencies to logback dependencies. Okay. Next, also need to change to log4j class to from log. We need to change to logback classes. in the code. I'll show you this out actually, okay? Now, if we can use directly, if we can use SLF4J interface, SLF4J interface, switching from one login library to other logging library is easy. Okay. So this is how we'll see. Okay. Now let me write one simple log4j library. We'll write one code, so it will be easy. Okay, let me write that. Right? Now I'll import a Maven project now. Let us see that. File, new Maven project. So I'll just say log4j demo. I'm changing this to 70. Okay. Now here I'll add dependencies. So I'll say org dot apache dot login dot log4j. Next I'll say log4j hyphen port. And here I'll say 2.17.2. Okay, this I'll remove. Similarly, add one more dependency. Log4j API. You can think like these two are very important. Okay, log4j. Now see, now we are not using SLF4j. We are using directly this part. My Java code is directly using log4j library directly. We are not using this section. Okay. So these two are the dependencies for log4j. Okay. These two are dependencies for log4j. Now what I'll do now, in my app.java, okay, in map.java, what I'll do, I'll create a logger object. I'll create a logger object. I'll say logger is equal to, I'll say log manager dot get logger of app dot class. And here I'll use this log4j. Okay, this is creating a logger object, and how I'll do log manager dot get logger, and this is part of your log4j line. See here, what I'm doing. I'm using directly this one. My Java code directly using this log4j logger and directly. Okay, now I want to add some messages here. So what I'll do, I'll say logger dot info. I'll say this is info message. I'll say logger dot debug. I'll tell you what are these, okay? What are these levels? Debug message. Okay. And I'll also tell what is this info debug and I'll tell you, okay? So see, instead of putting system.out.println, I'm writing like this, okay? Next logger dot error. This is debug message. This is error message. Okay, now next warn message. This is warn message. Like this, okay? Now let me run this first. So I'm getting only error. I'm not getting any other things. Why? Because the default is error. Default error. These are all called levels. I'll tell you what are these levels and all that, okay? We have different logging levels, okay? So we need to have some configuration also, okay? We need to have some configuration. So what is that configuration is? I'll tell you. In source main resources, we have a file called log4j2.xml. We will have a file called this one. Okay. Now what I'll tell is, just 1 minute. So what I'll tell is, you see here, I'll just put configuration. And here I'll say appenders. I'll tell you what are these. Don't worry. I'll tell you each and every section. Okay. I'll tell you each and every section. What is this? Next, I'll say console. Name is equal to console appender. And here I'll say target system.out. Then I'll say pattern layout. Pattern layout, pattern is equal to %d, %p. I'll tell you what is this %g, %p, %c. I'll tell you all these, okay? I'm just writing. %m, %n. Okay? That's all. Then what I'll do, I'll just say root level I'll let a simple one. Root level is equal to debug. And I'll say here appender ref. I'll tell you what are this, okay? Appender ref is equal to console appender. Now let me run this now. I'll tell you what are this format, okay? Just give me some time. Don't worry. I'm going to explain each and everything. What is everything, okay? So run as. That's what I told you, right? I'm going to explain this XML. Don't worry about that. I'm going to explain each and every line. But first let me run this program, okay? See, I'm not going to leave this class, this course without explaining anything. Now see, error unknown. Put me that in a under loggers. Put me this loggers. Now let me run this. Now see, now everything is come. Info, debug, error, one. And I'm going to explain you what is this, okay? See, these are called levels, logging levels, okay? So logging levels are info, warn, debug, error. So these are the different logging levels. Okay. So these are different logging levels. And what these logging levels will do is, okay, logging levels will determine the type and usage of the log message. See, for example, all the information will go to this level. If we need to log information or flow, we will use log.info. That means in log.info, what we do, we log actually the general flow. Suppose I'm having a method like class A, method 1. Okay, here I'll say log.info in method 1. Like this. So that what will happen is, we can know that when I run this program, I can know that the control has entered into this method. When this method is logged, when this statement is logged means, that means this method 1, when the statement is logged means this method 1, okay, this method 1 is executed properly and the control is flowing. So we log all the information. And warn means, suppose if you want to give some warning messages, okay, like this. For example, class A, okay, method 1 Let us take like this. Int thread count is equal to 100. I'll just say like if thread count, I'm just telling if thread count greater than 50, give a warning message. I'll just give log.warn subject to more load or more consumption. You are giving a warning, that's all. When thread count is greater than 50, the server is going more load. More the number of threads, more is the load. We are giving some warning message here. Okay? So this is what warn. Similarly, debug. So debug is also kind of information only, but with a detailed. Okay, with a detailed. Okay. So debug is also kind of info. Kind of info level. Info, but with a detailed one. With a detailed log. See, for example, I have like this. Say class A. I'll say method 1. And here I'll put a log.debug. This method 1 belongs to, I'm putting a detailed information. Class A, where this method 1 computes some price, product price. I'm giving a complete information. So at the time, what we do, debug will give in debug, it is giving the complete information, complete. So that is what debug. And error means to log any error message. To log any error. Warn is just, it is warning only, but error is, it is completely wrong. Error message. To log any error message. So for example, I have like this. Class A, method 1. Here I'll say try. I'll write something here. And then I'll say catch. Catch exception. EX. And here I'll say log.error. And here I'll give the error message. Error and stack trace. So all the errors will be logged in the catch block. So generally log.error will be in the catch block. Okay. So these are the different lines: info, warn, debug, error. Okay. If you're writing log means you don't need to write system.out.println statements. Okay. So you understood, right? Now these are the different logging levels. Now currently I have put info debug error as a plain message, just so it is printing all. It is printing all. And how this format is coming? This particular format, date, time, level, class name. This is coming from this pattern name. So from this format, from this pattern, this is coming. I'm going to explain you. Tomorrow there is no class. Tomorrow there is no class. We will meet on Monday. I'll be explaining each and every. I'll be explaining this XML. Okay, don't miss that. So Monday onwards, we'll go in depth of this logging library, log4j and SLF4J. Any questions? Any questions? Okay, I'll send the notes. Okay, I'll send the notes. Yeah, today I'll upload the notes. Definitely I'll upload. All right then. I'll explain that. Don't worry. When I explain this log4j XML, I'll explain what are this, what is this pattern label and all. Okay. Any questions? Clear till now? The concepts, log4j and all levels. All right then. So in the pom.xml, I added these dependencies. All right then. Thank you all. See you on Monday. Okay. Thank you all. I'll give assignments, start giving assignments from next week onwards. Okay. Thank you all.